Anna arrived in Madrid just as the sky began to glow. She stepped off the train and felt a cool breeze on her face. All around her, the city was waking up. In the distance, a train whistle sounded like a soft song. Anna thought of that sound as Madrid's heartbeat. It felt like the first note in a grand morning melody. She walked down Calle Mayor and saw metal shutters rolling up one by one. Each shutter made a gentle clank on the pavement. Cafe doors opened and warm light spilled onto the street. The smell of fresh bread and hot coffee floated in the air. Anna closed her eyes and breathed in deeply. She loved that aroma more than anything. At a small cafe, Anna greeted the barista. She smiled and said, "Buenos dias." The barista returned her smile. Anna practiced again. "Un café con leche, por favor." She spoke slowly and clearly. The barista nodded and handed her a cup of coffee with steamed milk. Anna held the warm cup in her hands. She let the steam rise to her face and savored the rich taste. Madrid felt friendly. People stopped to say hello even if they did not know her. A street vendor called out, "Fresh pastries here." Anna walked over and chose a croissant. She paid with a few coins and told herself, "I am learning both Spanish and English at the same time." That thought made her happy. As she walked toward Plaza Mayor, Anna noticed the difference between two ways to speak about what is happening. She thought, "I smell coffee." That is the present simple tense. It tells about routines or general facts. Then she thought, "The city is waking up." That is present continuous. It shows an action happening right now. Anna repeated both sentences in her mind. She knew that understanding these simple rules would help her speak more clearly. Reaching the plaza, Anna joined a small group of locals. They gathered under an orange tree near the center. A street musician played a gentle tune on his guitar. The music mixed with the murmur of voices. Anna felt she had stepped into a live song. Her heart beat with excitement. She opened her notebook and wrote down new words. She wrote "bustling energy" to describe the busy scene around her. She wrote "urban heartbeat" to remember the train whistle that began her day. She wrote "aroma" for the smell of coffee and bread. Seeing these words on the page made her feel proud. Anna looked around. She saw friends greeting each other with hugs and laughter. She saw families taking morning walks with their children. Everything moved at a lively pace, yet it felt calm and safe. She realized that in Madrid, even the busiest moments carried a sense of community. As the sun rose higher, Anna decided to try a simple exercise. She made a short dialogue in her mind. Person A: "Good morning, may I help you?" Person B: "Morning, mate, I would like a coffee, please." She practiced each line softly under her breath. With each practice, her confidence grew. Before leaving the plaza, Anna asked herself a question. How would she greet someone in her own city? She thought of a friend she had in her hometown and imagined saying, "Hello, my friend. It is a beautiful morning." This small exercise helped her connect her learning in Madrid to her life back home. Anna finished her coffee and tossed her empty cup into a recycling bin. She felt ready for the day's adventures. Madrid's morning melody had taught her new words, new phrases, and new feelings. She understood that learning a language was more than studying in a classroom. It was about living in a place, breathing its air, tasting its flavors, and listening to its sounds. Stepping away from the plaza, Anna carried with her the rhythm of Madrid. She knew each new sign, each new greeting, would become a verse in her own story. And so, with a light heart and a curious mind, she continued down the street, ready to discover what other melodies Spain had to offer. Anna left Madrid by early train and arrived in Barcelona before noon. She stepped onto the platform and felt a fresh breeze carry the scent of sea salt and warm stone. She carried her small backpack and began to walk toward the city center. The air felt bright and full of promise, like an invitation to explore. As she entered the Gothic quarter, Anna noticed narrow streets twisting in every direction. She thought of the phrase labyrinthine alleys and smiled. The lanes wound around old stone buildings, forming a maze that invited careful steps. Each turn revealed a new surprise. A tiny square with an ancient fountain, a small cafe with colorful chairs, or a simple doorway carved with faded carvings. The Gothic spires of the cathedral rose above the rooftops like silent guardians watching over the city. Anna paused before the Cathedral of Barcelona. Its tall spires lifted her eyes to the sky. She felt the weight of history in every stone. She traced the weathered patterns on the walls and imagined the craftsmen who carved them centuries ago. The scene felt like an architectural symphony, with each element playing its part in a grand design. Tall arches, carved figures, and high windows worked together to create beauty that never felt overwhelming. Hunger drew Anna toward a small tapas bar tucked between the buildings. She opened the door and sat at a wooden table. A friendly waiter greeted her. "Good afternoon. Would you like something to eat?" he asked. Anna replied, "Yes, please. I would like patatas bravas and a glass of fresh orange juice." The waiter nodded and left. While she waited, Anna watched people pass outside. Tourists held maps and pointed at street signs. Local workers carried baskets of nuts or folded laundry at first-floor windows. After tasting the spicy potatoes and sipping cold juice, Anna continued her journey. She caught a bus to Park Güell, one of Antoni Gaudi's famous works. As the bus climbed the hill, she saw colorful mosaics spark in the sunlight. She stepped off and walked through the park gates. Smooth benches curled like waves, covered in broken tiles that flashed in reds, blues, and greens. In the center, a dragon sculpture stood guard with wings spread wide. Gaudí had used organic forms to shape his art. The curves and colors felt alive, like plants growing in stone. At Park Güell's highest point, Anna looked back at the city. She saw the grid of streets and the shimmering sea beyond. She felt a sense of wonder. She thought of the word quieter when she compared this green space to the busy Gothic quarter. She realized she could use simple comparisons to compare cities. Barcelona is more colorful than Madrid, and its parks are quieter than its main streets. From the park, Anna took the metro to Passeig de Gràcia and discovered Casa Batlló. Its facade looked like a wave frozen in ceramic and glass. She pressed her palm against the undulating wall and felt cool, smooth stone. She said to herself, "This building is more interesting than any I have seen." She practiced her new sentence in her mind. Then she moved on to La Pedrera, also known as Casa Milà. Its rough stone exterior rippled like sand. She remembered the difference between more and for creating comparisons. Anna's final stop was the Sagrada Familia. She stood before its grand towers reaching for the sky. A line of visitors waited for tickets. Anna joined the line and said to the clerk, "How much for a ticket, please?" The clerk answered, €20 for adults. Students pay 15. Anna smiled and showed her student card. "I am a student. May I pay €15? The clerk nodded. Anna handed over the money and received a small paper ticket with a time printed on it. Inside the basilica, light poured through vibrant stained glass. Colors danced on the floor, creating pools of red, green, and blue. Columns branched toward the ceiling like a forest of stone trees. Anna looked up in awe. She thought of Gaudí's idea that nature was the greatest artist. Every detail seemed to echo the forms of leaves, flowers, and branches. As she walked out into the warm afternoon, Anna heard a distant sound of a guitar. She followed the music to a small square. A street musician sat on a wooden stool, gently strumming flamenco chords. She felt her heart lift with each note. The rhythm felt alive and full of emotion. Anna closed her eyes and let the music flow through her. She opened her notebook and wrote a final reflection. Music makes me feel connected to this city. She added the question prompt for herself. What music makes you feel alive? She knew that learning English was not only about words and grammar. It was about using language to capture feelings and memories. Barcelona had shown her new sights, new sounds, and new ways to describe the world. As the sun began its slow descent, she felt ready to carry these experiences into her studies and her conversations with friends back home. Anna arrived in Seville late in the afternoon. The sun hung low in the sky, painting the city in warm gold. She stepped off the train and felt the gentle heat of early evening. Her heart swelled with anticipation as she walked toward the old city. She entered Barrio Santa Cruz through a narrow archway. Whitewashed houses lined the cobblestone street. Flower pots hung from balconies, spilling red and pink blooms. Anna thought, this neighborhood feels like a peaceful maze. Her feet moved slowly so she could take in each detail. A gentle breeze carried the scent of orange blossoms and warm stone. Soon she found the gates of the Real Alcázar. She passed through heavy wooden doors into a calm courtyard. A long pool of clear water mirrored the orange trees above. Carved columns curved around the space. Small fountains trickled water with soft sounds. Anna closed her eyes and imagined life here centuries ago. She opened them and walked along the edge of the pool. She saw her face in the water and remembered to use the past simple tense to tell her story. I walked through the courtyard. I watched the water. I felt the cool breeze. These sentences helped her practice regular and irregular verbs. Leaving the Alcázar, Anna wandered into a nearby square. The sun dipped lower, and lanterns began to glow. She heard distant music and followed the sound. Soon she reached the feria grounds. Rows of casetas stood under paper lanterns. Inside each tent, families and friends gathered. Women wore bright flamenco dresses. Men clapped their heels and snapped their fingers. Anna watched dancers move in time to fast guitar chords. Their steps were strong and graceful. She felt a rush of excitement and joined in a simple step. Stomp right foot, snap fingers, smile. Later, Anna sat at a small table outside a caseta. A server brought her a glass of rebujito, a cool drink of wine and soda with mint. She sipped slowly and wrote new words in her notebook. Tranquil courtyard, fiery passion, echoes of history. Each phrase reminded her of what she saw and felt. She thought, Seville's magic is in its people and their traditions. As night fell, Anna reflected on her first day in Seville. She knew it was time to practice her past simple again. She wrote 3 sentences in her notebook. Yesterday, I danced at the caseta. I drank a cold rebujito. I bought an orange blossom souvenir. She checked each verb. Danced, regular. Drank, irregular. Bought, irregular. Writing these sentences helped her understand the difference between regular verbs that add ed and irregular verbs that change form. Anna stood by the Guadalquivir River and watched lantern lights reflect on the water. Boats drifted slowly in the dark. The city felt alive, yet calm. She whispered to herself, I felt joy. I saw history. I learned new words. These simple statements summed up her evening. Before leaving, she imagined writing a short story for her English class. She would write about her journey, the beautiful courtyard, the lively dance, and the gentle river. She would share how she used new vocabulary and past tense verbs. Anna felt proud. She had connected her learning to real experiences. As Anna walked back to her hotel, she carried Seville's evening rhythm in her heart. The city's warmth and passion would stay with her long after she returned home. She knew that every step, every dance, and every word was part of her growing English story. Anna's journey through Spain has come to an end, but her story lives on in our hearts and minds. She began in Madrid at first light, breathing in the cool air and listening to the city's morning melody. She practiced simple greetings and watched shutters open to welcome the day. In Barcelona, she wandered winding Gothic alleys and marveled at Gaudi's organic creations. She learned new words and felt the city's colors and curves come alive. In Seville, she walked through the tranquil courtyards of the Alcázar and danced under flickering lanterns at the feria. She tasted cold rebujito and watched the river reflect the night lights. Every step Anna took was a chance to practice English, to feel new emotions, and to connect with people and places. Through her travels, Anna learned more than vocabulary and grammar. She discovered that language learning is a journey of the heart as well as the mind. When she spoke slowly and clearly, people smiled and helped her. When she listened to songs and stories, she felt part of each city's rhythm. When she used simple sentences to describe her feelings, she grew more confident. Anna's story shows us that we learn best when we live the language. We learn new words by smelling fresh coffee, by tasting local food, and by hearing music in the streets. The lesson we can take from Anna's travels is simple and powerful. Learning a language is not just about studying in a quiet room. It is about stepping outside, speaking to real people, and allowing yourself to feel the world around you. You can start by greeting a neighbor in your own city, by ordering a small cup of tea in English at a cafe, or by writing 3 simple sentences about your day. Each act of practice brings you closer to true understanding. Congratulations on listening to Anna's full story. You have improved your English listening and comprehension by following her experiences. Now let us test your understanding with a quick quiz question. What did Anna drink in Seville when she sat outside the caseta? A. A glass of cold rebujito. B. A cup of hot chocolate. Please comment your answer as A or B. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating high-quality content for you. If you would like, you can also donate to help cover our production costs. We do this work for free because we believe in helping you learn English. Thank you for being part of our learning community.